school. Good job.
And you guys are live.
All right. Greg, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So what's up, everybody? It's your favorite assassin here on Skype because due to family obligations, I am unable to be there in studio as of today. But we are still here, giving you the audio, giving you the news, giving you whatever there is to need to know about the wrestling world. And also on Skype Live with me is Drax Mason.
Oh, damn, you could have let me do the intro. Drax Mason. All right, now we...
All right, so again, we apologize for our absence, but due to our own family personal obligations, it has limited us to be in studio in time, but we figured out a way. The man Gene figured out a way to get us there, and we are here in some way, shape, or form. So thank you, Gene.
Thank you, Gene.
My pleasure, guys. Dave, just talk a little louder.
Not you, Gene. Just Gene.
You got it. So, what topic I really have for today, it's been ongoing political drama in the indie wrestling world, as Greg himself knows. Greg, do you want to touch base on that?
I don't know if I'll be able to be censored.
Well, let's just talk about it a little bit, because you know.
All right, for those that don't. All right, sorry to interrupt, but just to jump ship, I highly apologize if people didn't want to hear me talk about it, and if I get uncensored, I highly apologize to people that are offended by dirty language. So pretty much the political drama is, I, Drax Mason, finally got myself involved with Brawl through a good friend of ours who was our first guest ever on the show, Mr. Donnie Jackson himself. He got us involved with Brawl, Mick Bronson.
Tell everybody what Brawl is. It's called Bloody Rage American Wrestling League. It's another independent wrestling promotion down in South Jersey, who is run by the one and only Mick Bronson, who possibly will be a guest on the show next week.
Amen.
Continue, Greg. Sorry to cut you off.
Me and Donnie Jackson, we were scheduled to be in a match for April 28th in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. It was going to be my first singles match, but due to unfortunate circumstances, because people don't understand the fact of you don't need to go to a wrestling school if you're trained by people who are anywhere from 5 to 20 plus year veterans in the ring and willing to take the opportunity for free. I get it, it may suck, and, going to the school is the best option, but when you don't have the money to go to a school, and you have people out of the kindness of their hearts see something in you and want to make you a better person in that ring, I jumped all over that opportunity. And unfortunately, due to, people, I'm sorry if I'm stuttering, I'm just trying to use non-curse words to describe these people, but anyway... pretty much the whole Facebook controversy of, people saying that I am a yarder and I am untrained, and so much controversy literally broke this match on Facebook more than any other title match.
And it actually, sorry to cut you off, but it was actually the most talked, subject on the internet as far as the independent wrestling community is concerned. And again, to add more to this topic, the one person who's training you, Mick Bronson. I mean, you've gotten prior training before this from doing seminars and stuff like that. But Mick Bronson, he's been in the business for years. I mean, I've searched him on the internet. He's he's been trained by Iron Mike Sharp, and Iron Mike Sharp also allowed him to train other people. The problem is, what they're disputing is that you and Donnie are both untrained, but little do they know that you guys have been training with Mick Bronson, correct?
Correct.
Now, one of the things that their problem was is that yeah, you were training with Mick Bronson, but you were, you know, the problem is because Mick Bronson's ring is in the backyard. Now, here's my, you know, I guess you could say my own judgment on the thing, my own, you know, personal feelings about it. You know, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't matter if the ring is in a backyard. It does not mean it's backyard wrestling, okay? Who cares?
As long as you're under the supervision of trained professionals, that's all that matters.
Correct. That's how I feel about it as well. I mean, I don't understand it. I mean, maybe because I haven't been in the business as long as most. You know, I've been training since 2010, and people still call me on training in the backyard. my resume says otherwise.
Exactly. And plus, the amount of legends you work with, you know, it just sucks that, you know, pretty much the subject to the matter is what most people did not want to hear what I'm about to say, but unfortunately for the fans and all the insaniacs out there, the match between me and Donnie Jackson was pulled due to these unfortunate circumstances. And I'll tell you,
but they still can check you out down at Brawl. You're still.
Oh, most definitely. I know that I'll definitely have a place for something down there. And I'm sorry to interrupt and talk over you, Ace.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, this is just a kind of a very emotional topic because for the fans, you know, want to know behind the scenes. When Ace let me know this information, I as soon as I got off the phone, I just started crying, like dead ass for like an hour, because this was the #1 thing I was looking forward to, and due to, you know, unfortunate circumstances, you know, little fuckboy wrestlers that don't understand, you know, how the business is changing, and as long as you're under the supervision of professionals, then, you know, who cares? But, you know, shit happens. I'm sorry if I'm getting.
No, it's okay. You know, it's your own personal feelings, and you know, I wanted to touch base on this subject today because I wanted to know exactly how you were feeling about it. You know, the fans should know what's going on. I mean, especially the loyal fans that patiently wait for us to do the show and want to know, you know, details about, you know, the independent wrestling scene, because that's our job, is to give them the news. And to me, this is news. I mean, because it was one of the most talked about things on Twitter and Facebook and the internet in general. I mean,
exactly. Well, see, I'm not one to normally stay in the media, so I don't know how well. I know Facebook's considered the internet, but like, I didn't really think that it would blow up on like the whole indie wrestling scene as much as it did. Like, I thought it just would have been, you know, like a little bit of Facebook drama and a little bit of Twitter drama because of all the wrestlers and Facebook people that we follow on our personal pages, as well as our fan pages for the fans. Right. But I didn't expect like the internet to blow up about it.
Yeah, dude, I mean, it blew up big time. I mean, it was talked about everywhere. And you know, the problem is, I'm not going to mention names, but you know, there are other people that carried it on more than what they should have, and it's kind of sad. You know, and this brings me to my previous topics we talked about before, is that you know the wrestling community is not the way it used to be. I mean, there's so much more political bullshit that plays a part of the world now. To me, you know, it's people like them that ruin the business. I mean, you had guys jumping all over this topic, like ECW star Nova. Okay, he jumped on top of it, and he sat there and he even said, "He like let the guys live their dream. You know, let them get in the ring, bump around, let them make their own mistakes." I know that's how it should be.
No, I totally understand.
You know how are young bucks ever going to learn how to, you know, do what they need to do in the ring if they don't mess up?
Right, exactly. And the thing about it is, 3 men that, you know, the people that were involved in the whole argument of the topic, you know, it really pisses me off because of the fact of, you know, they were once us. Right. And I just wish that everybody could be, you know, it sucks that, you know, with the political issues in the indie wrestling scene or the wrestling scene in general, you know, you are going to get your egos. It's like, it's almost like high school never ends in a way, but, you know, at the same time, it's another work.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we touch base on it. Let people know what's up. Let's give them some updates, man. Let's give them some shows that are coming up. We got this Friday and Saturday. We got SWF, No Love Lost, and then we have SWF the following Saturday in Barnegat for American Made. And two shows both have an awesome card featuring both nights. Tony Atlas. It's going to be awesome. Definitely, if anybody's in the Jackson area for Friday, definitely come out and check out SWF No Love Lost. Your boy Ace Marshall is going to be there, teaming up with Clay Sawyer to take on Mr. Tony Atlas himself and Matthias Glass.
And even though I may not be on the card, you can bet your ass Rox Mason will be there to interact with all the fans as well.
He will be there in attendance, so definitely, guys, come on out. I mean, besides my match, Greg, what I'm looking forward to most about this show is Grimm versus Marconi.
Thank God that it's finally happening.
I mean, besides the BS that was going on with you and Donnie Jackson, this is actually one of the most talked about controversies, most drama that's been carrying on since the the Berkeley Little League building. SWF hit is a hit when Marconi no-showed and Grimm was made the interim SWF champion.
And see, the thing about it is, the only thing that I don't understand is, I've probably said it once on the show, but my memory sucks, so I'm just going to say it again. What people need to realize about Grimm's Toy Show, and I bring this up only for the simple reason of, everybody shits on it, everybody thinks it's bad for, people, and you know what? Grimm's Toy Show, as long as you have somewhat of wrestling capability, and Grimm himself, like I said, going back to the topic of someone who has been in the business for well over 10 years, or 20, I'm not exactly sure, but I know it's at least 10, Grimm's is a parody wrestling show. And nobody just seems to understand it, and that, people bash it and say, oh, this is garbage, da-da-da. Well, if you don't like it, okay, you're entitled to your own opinion, but don't sit there and bash, I just hate it because not only as a GTS fan, it's also some of the people who have been there that talk shit about the company or the product. I don't want to say company, but in the way, YouTube pays for it.
I mean, here's the thing. Okay, let's bring it back just a little bit. Okay, WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment. It's an entertainment show. What Grimm does on YouTube is entertainment. What we do on the indies, out there every weekend, day in and day out, entertainment. What is the problem? That's what I want to know. What is the problem? Because
guys that
Grimm gives the little guy a chance.
I guess so.
No, it's all political. That's what it is.
Exactly.
It's all political.
Because everybody's don't get me wrong. Like I said, everybody is entitled to their own opinions of what they think about whatever. But it just bothers me that, the people that do it just don't understand that it's a wrestling parody show. And if they do understand, they either shit on it more or they just, still keep going on about it, but just at the same level, if not worse or less.
So to get back on topic, because we drifted away from it a little bit, but Grimm versus Marconi, I mean, you have Marconi out there taking shots at Grimm taking shots at Marconi. Both behind their characters are great guys, man. Honestly, I talked to them both, believe it or not. I mean, they're knowing Grimm behind the scenes, he's a very, very genuine guy. And as well,
he's very humble.
Marconi.
Very genuine, got a lot of love and respect and passion for the business. Not just both men for that.
And and I think it's going to be a really good match, man. I think they're all going to give it everything they got. I mean, I'm just curious to know who's going to walk out champion that night.
Amen.
I mean, who knows? Grimm could come up with the upset and take the championship.
You never know,
and another thing, you have SWF there. They're having the golden, was it the golden ticket match or something like that? going on, and Too Hot Steve Scott's making a return, man. Who knows?
And-
Steve Scott can win the match, then come out and cash in and take the championship too.
With a selfie.
I mean, the guy made a point. I don't know if you could quote his promo that he posted yesterday.
Unfortunately,
the other day, but he made a very good point. He technically never lost the SWF championship.
in all honesty, I was never around when Steve held the title. At least I don't think I was.
Well, what happened, from my understanding, is 3 years ago, Steve suffered a bad concussion. He had to surrender the title, and that was that for as far as Too Hot Steve Scott, as far as the SWF champion. So, nothing for nothing. He does have a rematch clause.
Believe it or not, like whenever I saw, I'm not gonna lie, I never heard of the rematch clause until I actually watched Grimm's. And then when I actually found out that, the rematch clause was actually a real term, I actually started cracking up.
And then on Greg Grimm's, what does he use? The crab clause.
He used the lobster clause. Yeah, that's the first thing I ever heard about it, because I know I'm a wrestling fan, but not every wrestling fan and or wrestler learns something new every day. So at that point in time, I learned something new. That's actually a real thing. And Grimm just parries, and like I said, Grimm being a parody man, I just thought that was one of the funniest things in the world.
That's great.
Because when Kurt Angle said, "You have your rematch clause," and I didn't see the clause on his hands, I just started laughing.
That's
Grimm,
great.
I hope you're listening, brother.
Yeah, definitely, man. Both nights, man. It's both gonna be action packed show. I mean, the one thing about SWF that I love that they're doing is for American Made. It's all one big fundraiser to raise funds to bring our fallen soldiers home from overseas. All proceeds go to the veterans and our soldiers that are overseas to help them bring them home. So hats off to SWF for that one.
Hats off to Rob Fury and SWF as well, and especially coming from the respect of a fellow veteran in the Army, Mr. Marksman.
Yes.
Wonder how he got the name, huh?
Ha 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 ha. Ha ha. So with that being said, after Barnegat, we roll right into Totowa, New Jersey on February 24th. Now, with that show, it's going to be definitely one that nobody is gonna want to miss. That's SWF's 100th show. They're celebrating their 100th show with James Ellsworth.
Ooh.
And fun fact for that one, Rob Fury touched base on it yesterday. For a recent podcast I listened to Rob Fury and Billy Fetsky on, is that SWF got Ellsworth. This is going to be Ellsworth's first show outside of WWE. So he's coming out fresh, hot off WWE, and he's coming ready to fight, as quoted by Rob Fury.
That is fucking amazing, and excuse my language, but that I can't say. I feel bad for cursing. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, dude. I mean, let me touch base on something, dude. Let's be honest. WWE never really showed his personal potential to be a wrestler, man. They gave him these messed up gimmicks. I mean, I know when you're on the contract, WWE or anybody, any wrestling promotion, you want to make yourself look good, so you do what you're told. But at the same time, you never really saw him perform.
And I don't want to say, I don't want to sound like a dick, but in the same sense, I kind of feel the same way. But the only reason in all honesty, to all the fans out there, as far as, ridiculous things or, once again, touching back to Grimm's Toy Show. Now, I love the product, but, I'm sorry if I keep touching base on Grimm's Toy Show. It's just, that's where a lot of our history and officially my history happened, because of Grimm, made me somebody. But touching back on I never really got to have as much training as I did after, the month of June due to unfortunate circumstances. But, that's kind of the whole reason why I never really had enough time to train. So I figured, let me just be the guy that I tried to make the best of it. Let me be the goofy character. Let me be the guy that, and I've said it backstage a million times to
Let you be the Mikey Whipwreck.
Not just that, but every promotion needs that one guy. And being the fact that I'm the only guy willing to be that guy, so be it. Let's go for it. And I always made the best of it. Deep down, it bothered me. I never could wrestle as far as actually getting more than 10 moves in, so to speak. But I always made the best of it, and I never complained. And I honestly think that's one thing that Grimm can honestly say about me that I actually like. I never complained about nothing that he wanted to do. So,
and and that's what makes you a humble person. I mean, that's what the wrestling community needs, is more people like that, to be humble, to stay hungry, to always want it. I mean, you get these other guys that's been in the business for so long, they think they're entitled to the world just because. And that's not fair, because why are you going to shit on somebody else when you were once that guy?
It just doesn't make sense to me. But I can only, not to get too off topic, I just can only imagine what Jim Cornette would be saying about this right now.
Yeah, exactly. But to touch base again, SWF 100, James Ellsworth. There's a few other surprises from what I heard. There's going to be a lot of other surprises at the other shows. I mean, this is going to be an awesome month for SWF, especially coming out, 2018 first shows for the 2018. They're going to come out with a bang, man. And honestly, I think it's going to set the bar for the independent wrestling community, for New Jersey in general.
I can actually say I agree.
And that's just me saying my personal opinion. That's just not me saying because I am an SWF guy. But I just think that SWF is where it should be. Is where it's going to be for the month, definitely the month of February, for that matter.
Amen.
So, there was something else I wanted to talk about, Greg. Nothing drama really related, or the wrestling community. I wanted to touch base on promos, man. Who was your favorite promo guy, honestly?
Oh my God, there's so many. But if I were to have to say, all right, I'm just gonna do by the decades. So, because it's so hard to pick just one, because there's so many great ones.
I just want just one from you.
One of my favorites definitely has to be possibly Cactus Jack, or Mick Foley in general.
Cactus Jack,
because
definitely.
That man has the most. He can make you laugh. He can make you cry. He can just sink you into his life and make you visualize it with his words, especially with the famous but infamous Cane Dewey speech. And that was the start of one of the most hottest, controversial, but non-amusing moments in ECW, for that matter, because after that promo, Cactus Jack literally hated the bloodthirst, or despised the bloodthirsty fans for that. I don't want to, that's just from a fan's perspective. But he would literally sit there and put on the most boring match possible with like a 10-minute, like a 5-minute headlock, and then as soon as he gets up, he goes right back into like another 2 or 3 minute armbar. Like he would purposely annoy the fans because of that. And So yeah, Cactus Jack, Mick Foley, Mankind, Dude Love, whatever promo, Mick Foley all around, probably one of the, if not the, definitely in the top 10 greatest promoters of all time.
I asked the question because as a fan's perspective, okay, and now you getting involved with the indies. I spend, as you know, Greg, I spend most of my time on my phone. My phone is legit glued to my hand, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, I'm constantly on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. And I'm checking out all different promotions. I'm checking out all different type of indie promotions and, their footage. There's not really a good promo person on the indies, really. I mean, today, besides the one who's going to be at SWF is EC Negro. He is fantastic on the microphone. We need more PE people that can do that. I mean, from me being a fan, I remember watching Chris Jericho, or The Rock come out and just cut a promo, and you're like drawn in so much, like you believe exactly what they say.
Exactly, but in all honesty, I don't mean to sound like a conceited. I don't mean to sound like a conceited fuck, but if anybody wants, a good promo person, just give Drax Mason a microphone.
I mean, I'm just saying, man. It's just people don't do it as much anymore. I don't see wrestling promotions doing much promos. If they do, it's for for instance,
a maximum of like 5 minutes.
It's not just that. For instance, I was on YouTube the other day. I was checking out an old indie company I used to train at, old time wrestling, OTW, and I'm watching their footage, and they got some great matches, put on great shows. But some of these guys that they have cutting promos, I'm not going to say who. I'm not going to dig myself, into any heat or anything. But some of these guys, I just don't believe them. And and some others, I searched some others too. I mean, some of these guys, you just don't believe them. Again, that touches base on, wrestling lost a lot of its magic because I feel like too much of it was exposed.
And not just that, like, I am one of those people. I'm sorry to cut you off once again, but another point that I kind of want to bring up is I personally am one of these victims of being more worried about my wrestling performance than anything else.
Well, it should be. You should be more and more worried. I mean, to me personally, you should be, because if you plan on being a wrestler, you need to have that training to protect yourself and to protect who you're working with.
Amen. But, I understand that Drax Mason hasn't really had a lot of screen time due to, transportation issues and, staying out of the spotlight because, Drax Mason is the mindless shadow. I personally always wanted to just start cutting promos. But, the only reason I never asked is just, I was just trying to do what I was told.
I just feel like a lot of these guys don't do their homework as they should. I feel like a lot of these guys just, go show up to their training sesh, get all the drills in, get all their stuff out there, and then they go home and just say, fuck it, I'm too tired. Let me be lazy and just not worry about what's going to happen next. You know what I mean? Yeah, I just feel like they don't apply themselves as they should.
I can understand that.
I would just like to see, as a fan, more people on the indies cut decent promos, or promos for that matter, because you don't really see too much promos. But again, I'm not tooting the SWF horn, but we have shows where
almost everybody cuts a promo in every match.
Everybody's cutting a promo, exactly. Like I did, like the one show I had with in Jackson with Rob Fury, the show before A Hit Is a Hit in the Little League building. I went out there and Rob was like, "All right, before we have our match, you're cutting a promo." I'm like, "Really?" And he's like, yeah. So I went out there. I cut a promo, not the best promo in the world. You know what I mean? But like, because it was, it threw me off guard. But still, it's still practice.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like people should just do it more.
Exactly.
Like
And
make their character
like,
believable.
And that's a lot of things. And that's something about, like I've said before, like Drax Mason, the same guy you see in that, red and black gears, Grim Reaper skull dog trucks, red bandana with the skull on it. That's the same guy outside of the ring, just minus the voice. Like, like for the fans that were there at the last show of 2017, somebody threw a donut at somebody and it landed on the ground. Picked it up, ate it, Fear the Insanity catchphrase, and that's just me. Like I'm not gonna lie, I've been eating donuts off the ground for past the 10-second rule since I was like 7. And that's a lot of things, but back to the point of promos, I've always wanted to just have someone hand me a microphone, and if I were to ever get in another indie match, once I start getting, a little bit more relevant, start getting better with my in-ring work, sooner or later, nobody's going to be able to, get the microphone out of my hand. And, I don't mean to sound, cocky or arrogant, but, I have a lot of energy, a lot of love for the business, and a lot of ways to capture people's minds, through words. Not even just as Drax Mason, but also as, behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Just as, how we pull people into the show, how our first show ever, Gene was just sitting there and he couldn't take his eyes off the screen. I'm thinking, he would probably, want to say something or join in, but nah, he's just sitting there like he's watching TV.
And that's good. I mean, if you can capture, the minds of somebody who isn't really a fan, then you're really good at your job. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Gene's not a fan of wrestling, because I certainly know Gene's a fan of wrestling, but I'm just saying, for somebody who isn't a fan or who isn't up to date with, WWE or the independent wrestling community, if you can draw somebody in that isn't, then you're doing your job right.
Amen. And also, as well as speaking of which, for people not catching up on WWE, Gene actually finally watched Monday Night Raw for the first time in, I think he said 15 years, and he just couldn't keep up. Even he said, the storylines are so, they're almost gone. And I said, not exactly, but yes. And the only reason why I say not exactly is because it's not so much as character behind the scenes. For an example of, Kane is out to get the Undertaker because the Undertaker burned Kane's death or something like that.
Greg, Dave,
yes?
You guys got a phone call. Here you go.
All right.
Yo, hey, I got a question for you.
What's up?
Why is Drax ripping me off?
What do you mean ripping you off, homie?
I ate the fries off the floor way before you ate that donut, cuz.
Boy, I'll tell you what. Oh, man, I'll tell you what. I'm a lot older than you, so I have been eating things off the floor a lot longer, bud.
So you ripped me off before. Don't argue with me with this Drax.
Fear the insanity.
I fear no man.
But you fear the insanity.
I fear no man.
You fear no man, but you fear the insanity of a man.
No man.
You fear no man.
Alright, that's all I wanted to say.
Thanks for calling in, Ref.
Okay, guys.
Good shout out to Anthony Riff DeLuca. Big fan and big supporter of the GTS product, as well as other wrestlers. Makes us a good amount of edits and keep up the good work, kid. We love them.
Yeah, man.
No, I haven't watched wrestling for 15 years. And then when you said that, it's wow.
Yeah, man.
Been this is so much better than this. It's so much better than. I mean, I can't get into it now.
Yeah, but like I was saying, as far as like the storylines, it's not so much storylines as far as behind the characters. It's so much storylines of like, you know, who wants what spot.
It's not so much storylines as far as behind the characters. It's so much storylines of like.
Almost kind of like, you know, as far as it's like behind the scenes drama of what starts the feuds between wrestlers now. Like, it's almost like reality has become wrestling, so to speak.
It's like the real world, man. You remember that show, The Real World, on MTV?
Hey, The Miz.
Exactly. That's exactly what it's turning into, and you know, it's not bad, you know, but it's not great either. I mean, nothing will ever touch, in my opinion. Nothing will ever touch, you know, the Federation era or the Attitude era.
And also another thing. Oh damn! I completely forgot. Go ahead, take control.
That's great. Yeah, that's a great one. No, but you know, and you know, like I said, nothing will ever touch that era because you had DX who was out there just doing whatever the fuck they wanted to do, and then NWO, you know, with WCW doing whatever they wanted to do, taking over. And, you know, until Nothing for Nothing, the NWO got ridiculous by adding everybody.
Exactly, and just the NWO got boring after a while because, you know, nobody got, you know, it was like, if you're not NWO, you're nobody. You know, unless you're the Cruiserweight division and start kicking up the crowd. And, you know, it just sucks that, you know, they never got the spotlight, but, and, you know, and I highly apologize to get off topic, but another theory that I've had about, you know, the NWO that I've kind of been thinking about recently is, what if they were just there? What if, you know, they just took the contract and tried to destroy, you know, WCW and run it into the ground? But that's just my personal, excuse me, my personal opinion.
I don't think they would have done it. They had too much to lose if they fail.
Exactly.
At that time. You know.
Now, I honestly believe, you know,
Russo,
it's
just that they lost a lot of spark, bro.
Exactly. And also, at the same sense, you know, I personally think Vince Russo actually was there to try to... He claims that he was there to try to save the company, but it was all halfway down before he got there, so, you know.
He was there to put the fork in the steak, bro.
Amen. All right. Anything else you want to touch base on, Ace?
Oh, there's plenty of stuff we can touch base on.
Anything
so let's talk about Brawl, man.
All right.
Let's talk a little about Brawl. I mean, we'll touch more about it next week with Mick Bronson. I mean, how do you feel about Mick, man? I mean, you met him. You know, what was your experience?
Within the first 10 minutes of meeting the guy, I honestly fell in love with the guy. No homo, but you know, I felt like I was at home. Like from the moment he said, you know, because me personally, I'm a very, very, very dangerous type of person. Like, I've always been, you know, trying to do things I've seen on Jackass and Scarred my whole life, ever since the shows came out. But I looked at Mick and I said, hey, I know this is an idea that's been frowned upon a lot of people, but one thing I've always wanted to do is whenever I know I'm going over for like a hardcore match or even a hardcore title, one thing I want to do is I want to light myself on fire and jump off the top rope and land a move on the guy. And Mick was just like, that sounds fucking awesome. And you saw a look upon my face when I meant to go meet the man that you knew I had a new home.
Yeah, but he also knows, okay, and he, you know, and to finish that conversation, he also knows that really no venue will allow that, and man, it's that type of thing is not really allowed in most places.
Yeah, it sucks.
But I know the fact that he that he appreciated the idea, that made you excited.
Exactly, and I have a lot of high hopes for Brawl, and I always know that even if I'm not scheduled to be in a match, I know I will always have something to do at the show, or at least be fully interactive with the crowd, at least. Or I could be, I know Mick has some kind of plans for me because I know he sees potential in me. But what is in store for me, I don't know yet, but I know it's good things with Brawl.
What I like about Mick is that he really gives the young dog a chance. You know what I mean? He gives the young dog a chance.
Exactly.
And that alone for me, earns a lot of respect in my book. And,
indeed, that's like I said. When we were training with Mick, he was very impressed with a lot of things I was able to do in the ring. As far as he loved the face bump. Remember? When forget who it was that gave me a pop up into a face bump, but it was Medic, right? Jay Medic.
Yeah, it was Medic, Jay Medic.
Yeah, Jay Medic was like, hey, you want to really get a good face bump? I was like, how? He's like, how Kevin Owens does a pop-up power bomb? I'll just throw you up and you take the face bump. I'm like, all right, let's do it. Sure enough, I was probably about 7 feet in the air when I did this face bump. No lie. Like, I literally poked and pushed myself and just straight up, boom! Mick literally thought I died because I sold it.
That's great.
Amen. I know you were kind of scared, but then again, at the same time, you've seen me kind of do out.
Yeah, I'm used to your crazy. I'm used to your craziness.
Yeah, on the scenes and behind the scenes, and especially on the camera, because you've kind of been a part of helping out with those bumps.
You have like video on your feed, right? On your end. You're able to see a phone number.
Video.
Oh, you want the number, guys?
Yeah, I mean, we got like 15 minutes left. I mean, the next 15 minutes, if somebody wants to call in, definitely call in.
Call back, yeah. It's 609-807-2492.
Once again,
Yeah,
that's 609-807-2492. I sound like a good businessman.
You do.
Definitely, guys. Call in. We got 15 minutes left. We'd love to answer some questions, whatever things, anything you want to ask us or talk about, let us know.
Amen. In the meantime, let's get a little bit of ECW talk if we can, if that's all right with you.
That's
Ace.
it. Yeah, go for it.
My topic in ECW for today. Oh, man. What ECW topics would I like to discuss? Probably.
I got one.
All right.
Talking about Tommy Dreamer.
Very.
I mean,
very
this guy is in that SWF all the time.
He's at SWF. Believe it or not, in my hometown of one of the shittiest, most rundown places called Keansburg, New Jersey, Tommy Dreamer literally took time out of his day to stop in at Subway right next to the liquor store, which I kind of find ironic. But no, Tommy Dreamer literally took time out of his way to come to Keansburg, New Jersey, out of all fucking places, and literally go to Subway. And whenever you bought a sub, you got and for an extra $5, you got an autograph for Tommy Dreamer. So, or it was when you made a purchase of a sub, and then you got a ticket for Tommy Dreamer or something like that. I don't know, but very good guy. I've always never really wanted to ask him questions about ECW because I didn't want to seem like too pushy, even though that's my fangirl type thing, but I only asked him one thing. I was like, Tommy, why did you feel like you never deserved the title? And he said, I just didn't feel like I needed it. I said, but I'm sorry to bombard you, but can I ask why? And he's like, cause I was the heart. If you were to watch, I was like, Tommy, I know you were heart and soul. All right. He's like, how'd you know what I was gonna say? I was like, EC fucking W. And we just started laughing. It was great. And I also told him, you know, I had a match. I told him I was able to on the 11th, or no, it was in November. I was scheduled for a match, but I think the event got canceled or something. And he said, dude, good luck. I was like, thanks, man. I highly appreciate it. And he's like, no problem. I'm like, Tommy, EC fucking W. He just walked away, and he was sitting there. I was, yo, this guy's cool as hell. Plus, also that, you know, Tommy Dreamer was the first professional wrestler I ever got to actually talk to. It was at SWF New Year's Revolution. I was about to say Revolution. I always get the two confused with the WWE. But anyway, January 20th, 2017. It's like, Tommy, how you doing, brother? It's an honor to meet you. He's like, what's going on, man? I'm like, nothing. We just started talking about, like, you know, famous people from Yonkers, because that's the hometown of Tommy Dreamer. He's like, I was like, well, I don't know about I never heard of that guy, which I was talking about the rapper named Tyler, the Creator, and he was like, I'll tell you what, I'm probably one of the only famous people from Yonkers without a criminal record. And, you know, I believe it. But also, another great guy that I have met, one of the ECW originals, Sandman. And the thing that, you know, once again, another SWF special guest on a decent regular basis, I should say. Not every show, but he's on a bunch. And Sandman, behind the scenes, I actually asked him. I was kind of down in the dumps because this was when I was just starting, and, you know, I was so, you know, I wanted to get in the match, but I couldn't because I wasn't ready, and I didn't realize that I wasn't ready until a certain moment on another day. But anyway, I said, hey, Jim, I didn't say Jim, I meant to say Sandman. I was like, hey, Sandman, is it okay if I was like, hey, dude, you want a beer? He's like, dude, I would say yeah, but I got to drive, but I highly appreciate the offer, man. I was like, no worries, bro. But just knowing the fact that, you know, Sandman would let me buy him a beer if he didn't drive, that would have been, you know, that's fucking awesome. Just getting to hang out with people that are themselves. And also, another crazy thing about the Sandman that I honestly love about the guy. Still a Philadelphia, not sure if he's still in Philly or whatnot, but, you know, the guy, when he came to Megaslam in SWF, January 21st, 2017. Not sure if we still have copies of the DVD, but if we do, they will be for sale at the show or raffled off. You know, the guy had a brand new knee put in 10 days prior for that show, and he still came out and caned you, and as well as a bunch of guys.
Hey, I got something to announce, man.
Amen.
If we get a caller that calls in within the next 10 minutes right now, okay, that can figure out the day that I debuted on Grimm's Toy Show, or how do you say it? Free per view, as Grimm puts it. If you guys can guess the free per view that I debuted at, if you call in the next 10 minutes and tell us, you will win 2 free tickets right now to SWF for this weekend. For both shows.
Amen. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. No, that Gwen Stefani song came in my head for some odd reason.
How much you want to bet DeLuca's gonna call? Because he knows this.
Yeah. He's gonna call it like the 9th minute and 59th second. Watch. He's sitting here listening to the show, and now he's setting a timer for it.
Oh yeah, you know, Riff.
Yep. Yep, indeed.
Hey guys, while you're waiting for that, let me ask you a question.
Sure, go for it.
Do you think that a lot of people that come back into the WWE and the different wrestling organizations, do you think they bring back a certain element of needed entertainment, or do you think they drag it down? I've talked to friends and they said it depends on who the wrestler is. But
I have to say the same.
What's that?
I have to say the same.
Depends on the wrestler.
Yeah.
I
Because
mean,
there are some. Go ahead, Dave.
Go ahead, man. No, go ahead, man.
All right.
Go ahead. You're already on a roll. Go for it.
All right, so to what I was saying about it, there are certain wrestlers that understand, you have to evolve with the times and, you got to put the younger guys over. For instance, back to ECW, Mr. Terry Funk.
Remember him well.
A couple, but there are some legends that, you just can't make them lose. Like, if Hulk Hogan were to come back to WWE, there is no way in hell there's no way in hell he's going to be putting anyone over because he's Hulk fucking Hogan. But if CM Punk were to come back, maybe not right away, but definitely he would put someone over that he sees potential in.
Yeah, but Jax, don't you think that the Hulk thing is in this time now? Remember, everything's in timing as well. In years.
Exactly.
Do you think it's kind of burned down right now? A lot of people are leaving.
I mean, it comes. What plays the factor is that some wrestlers don't know when to hang it up.
Yeah.
That's the problem. A lot of and sometimes I don't blame them because this is all they ever know or do.
Exactly.
But again, like they say, I agree. It depends on the wrestler. It depends on where they're going. I mean, for instance, I've had the pleasure to share a locker room with Adam Rose. He goes by Aldo Rose on the Indies, but Adam Rose, he's supposed to be getting called back in the WWE. I heard, and who knows what's going to happen with him because he had a great gimmick, a great party gimmick, similar to what I do.
Exactly,
on the Indies, but I just don't think it's going to be over. Personally,
the only way I can see it being over is, I know this is going to sound really dumb, but Adam Rose versus the Bunny at a big pay-per-view.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing though. On Grimm's toy show, that would be funny because that Grimm's is a parody, but
then again, also
WWE
at the same time,
won't do it.
The only reason I say that is because Adam Rose, losing to a Bunny, it got over with the crowd, but at the same sense, it's like, okay, maybe he doesn't want to go with that story.
Do you know why? But do you know why? Do you know why it would be over with the crowd? Because WWE is PG. PG is kids pretty much from the ages of 5 years old to adults now. You know what I'm saying? That's how the audience
is. But also at the same sense, another reason probably why it wouldn't work is probably the person who played the Bunny is no longer in WWE as well. Now, they could probably get another guy, but, there is no other person like Darren Young that can be a fucking Bunny and get over with people. I'm sorry to say.
Yep. But that's how it is, man.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's
Just,
so
it's
what
just.
you guys are saying is it not only depends on the person, it also depends on the federation and who wants them.
Yeah, it depends on what their audience is too.
It also depends on the audience of what arena they're at and what town they're at.
Oh, here's
I
a
mean,
question. here's a question, guys. Does it affect when they leave a certain organization, the rating status? In other words, how well they're received either as a heel or a good person. Does that also affect them coming back? Because I see it both ways.
Like I said, it all depends on the hometown and how over the wrestler is with the people as well, to a certain extent.
I mean, I got an example. When I first started with SWF, I was a heel as when I was doing my assassin gimmick. Okay.
Exactly.
I as a heel there, I didn't really get over. As a face, I got over, but not as much, especially when I teamed with the Patriot. Now,
exactly,
I got booked over at UWC, totally different area of New Jersey. They've never seen me there. I mean, they've seen me on Grimm's Toy Show, but they've never seen me there.
Exactly.
And I came out. I did the whole assassin gimmick, and I was a complete heel, and I was over as a heel. I had people legit hate me because of what I was doing, what I was saying, how I was beating up Jay Adams.
The only
go ahead.
I'm sorry to say, but that's also a very good topic because in all honesty, from what I have seen, the crowd gets you know how to work a crowd. And you can work the crowd as face or heel, if you ask me.
I try, man. I mean,
what
again,
I mean by that is, even if you're scheduled to be the bad guy, people still fucking cheer for you.
And if you can do that, that makes you a great performer again. But
exactly.
But like Gene was saying, as he was asking, I mean, it all depends on the actual person or the gimmick that they're portraying. I mean, it really goes either way.
Indeed.
Let's see, where are we at now? All right, so no phone calls? Okay. Well, if anything, we'll do the giveaway next week too for the 24 show.
Amen.
So, all right, man, I'm going to close this out. And to all you guys out there listening, guys, gals, children, whoever's listening, thank you for your support. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for sticking with us at this time, through our tough times. And, also we got a great benefit show coming up. And details will be announced next week for that, so definitely keep your eyes and ears open because you'll never know where I'll post it. You can follow me on Twitter at Ace Marksman. You can follow Drax Mason on Twitter at Drax Mason. Also, you can follow us on Facebook at Ace Marksman on Facebook. And which Facebook
Make sure
are you
you
using,
follow
Greg?
Jebediah Woo.
There you go, Jebediah Woo. So thank you guys for tuning in. We are out of here, man. We are out of here. Thank you, and thank you.
Before we end this, I just also want to say, make sure you also check out Hamilton Radio's Facebook page at Hamilton Radio.
Exactly.
Also, the YouTube page on Hamilton Radio 1. Thank you, guys, and we are out. Fear the insanity.